homeschool mom. Never in a million years would I expect to get sued for exercising free speech under the Ku Klux Klan law in federal court by triggered Democrat politicians and liberals. But here I am, defending free speech to the tune of $200,000 worth of legal defense fees. We need your support. Follow our story to learn more.
Welcome to KSOK Uncensored. As you saw, we have an amazing guest coming on here shortly. A really interesting story. But first, while the left is concerned about things such as referring to those who are homeless as houseless and people who are criminals and in custody as a person in custody versus calling them what they are, criminals, the right is concerned about border security, an economic downturn, and our U.S. constitutional rights being stripped away from us. Those are real things that the left is focused on, and it doesn't explain to you where we are at more today than ever, is where the left is spending so much energy on they're no longer homeless people, they are houseless. And they're not a criminal, they are a person in custody, a POC. This is just a little bit of what we're dealing with today on the left. Meanwhile, we have real issues that we should be spending our energy focusing on. And what we're going to be talking about today with our guest is just a small example of wasted time, energy, and money by the left. As you guys know, I'm here in Portland, Oregon, and we have had a bloody week. Mondays are usually mellow. Just on Monday alone, there were multiple carjackings, and this is in the morning. This is not 3 in the morning. This is 10 a.m. Carjackings, home invasions, which actually the positive thing is it ended with 2 perps dead, one by the homeowner who had their home invaded, and the other by a Portland police officer who made an amazing shot, by the way, because there was a passenger who was the person that was carjacked in the passenger seat, and the driver was the perp. So that ended on a positive, but here in Portland, we need prayers. Our city, our state is in a really bad spot. And though beautiful on the surface, we are crumbling. So prayers for the state of Oregon. I am currently working with someone who is running for governor for the state of Oregon. His name is Mark, and I really feel hopeful about him. He is currently a superintendent in the state of Oregon, and I am working with his media manager, and we're going to get me out on the road helping him to do what we can with my small but impactful following that I have here in the Northwest. So prayers for Mark as well. That would be so awesome for us to make such a huge change that Oregon drastically needs and deserves. That said, I want to go ahead and bring in Joeylynn, our guest today. Come on in. And
hey there, how's it going?
I love your name. Such a great name. And here's why I really like it. My daughter's name is Scotland, and I just love it. It just has a nice ring to it. So your name reminds me of hers. So really beautiful.
That's so beautiful. Is it a combination of people's names that you named your daughter?
You know, it's funny. So my maiden name, well, shoot, I'm going to just air it out there. My maiden name is Scott, actually. So anyway, so that's my maiden name. So I was like, and then people on that side of my family, they go by Scotty. And so I was like, how cool is that? You know, now that I'm married, have a different last name, how cool is that to be able to honor my side of the family? And then Lynn had a nice ring to it. So that's how that happened. It was kind of made up, but there are a few others out there.
I love that so much. It's beautiful. Mine is my parents' middle names put together, and there aren't very many, but there are a couple also.
I love that. I think that's fun. I think that's fantastic, especially when they have that meaning to them. Love it.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on. You've been through the ringer lately. But I have to tell you, I was looking at your Instagram page. I can just pick up your personality through your post, and we would totally be friends if you lived around here. So I like you. You're cool for sure. You have a cool factor about you. So, and I don't hand out compliments very often. So
Thank you. I'm very flattered. I felt the exact same way when I was creeping on your Instagram. So that's so funny that we could just pick that up right away.
yeah, no, I'm like, she's fun. I like her. I told Juan, you walked away from it. I'm like, I like her, Juan. He's like, yeah, we're gonna try to get her on Ram. I'm like, good. That's where I was going with that.
I'm
Oh,
so excited. This is so what we're going to talk about has really opened up so many awesome doors of opportunity and brought us to meet so many cool people that we just can't help but be grateful for this trial that we're in, despite the
right.
difficulty.
Yeah, let's just go there. Let's talk about what is going on. What are you currently dealing with? I mean, I know, but let's share with the audience here because it's pretty unique.
Yes. So, plain and simple, I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband's a plumber, and we're both getting sued by Democrat politicians and liberal influencers for pretty simply exercising free speech. They are suing us in federal court under the Ku Klux Klan law of 1871, claiming that we banded together to suppress Black and minority voter rights. You might remember we saw it in the intro, the viral video of the Trump train driving next to the
I
Biden-Harris
do remember
campaign bus
that.
last year. Yes, my husband and I were a
Right.
part of
Yes.
that. We were
Awesome.
exercising our First Amendment right to free speech, and we were, supporting our presidential candidate, and at the time, and in my opinion, still our President Trump. And we were flying
Right.
American flags, and that offended, traumatized, and triggered them. And so there are no criminal charges. They're just suing us for financial compensation because they were offended and triggered.
Wow. That makes a lot of sense, right? With the billions of dollars they're flushing down the toilet every minute. They really want to just go after your money. That's what it's all about, right? Oh, that's so disgusting. How incredibly frustrating is that? I have to tell you, it's funny you said your husband's a plumber. My husband, and whenever he meets anybody, he doesn't tell people he's a police officer. He says he's a plumber. So that's what he moonlights as. So that's kind of his go-to. But anyways, that is so incredibly frustrating. I remember seeing the footage, and I was like, yeah, because we're disgusted. I mean, it's just so. And thank you for actually doing something, getting boots on ground. And getting out there and making a difference. Wait, you have to talk to me about something though that I saw on your page, and it was something like I think, did you go to an Oktoberfest and you had a bunch of T-shirts made? What was
Yes,
that?
actually, so I made a couple of shirts for fun, and they just wound up blowing up. We sold more than I could even count, and we were using those to fundraise for our legal defense. And they say Biden is the worst, and it has
Worst,
a
bratwurst.
giant
Yes.
sausage on the front. Because in New
Oh my God.
Braunfels, where I live, we have Wurst Fest, which is like Oktoberfest, but it's basically a week-long sausage and beer fest, and so. It was incredible to see our city support us and rally around us and continue to exercise free speech boldly all week during Worst Fest with their shirts. And we're still selling those shirts.
That is so cool. If somebody wanted to buy one, is it your website that they could purchase one on, or where can
Yes.
we find
So
those?
it just kind of blew up. We don't have a t-shirt company. We're not really like,
Yeah.
official. It was just kind of a hobby that I was doing. And then so many people wanted them. We recruited the help of a screen printer. So people can message
Cool.
me, on my website, and then I can, ship an order to them. No problem. There's just not really an official, shopping site for that. It's kind of
Right.
more relaxed. And if you'd like, I can show you one of the shirts. I've got one right here.
Do it. Yeah, that
If
would
you
be
want your audience
awesome.
to see that. Okay,
Yeah,
I've got
they're
it
so
coming.
cool. I saw that, and then all the people wearing them. I'm like, okay, that is rad. And there's nothing like it out there. Yes, I love that. How creative. It's
Yes, they were so
fantastic.
much fun.
That is so fun. I love that. So yeah, no, I'll definitely be picking one up from you because that needs to be worn. I mean, it's one of those things where you can wear it without it being like too in your face. You know what I mean? Like someone actually has to take the time to put two and two together when they look at
They
that.
really
So,
do.
oh,
It's
I love
funny
it.
because sometimes you'll notice somebody looks and they see Biden and they look like very pleased, and then they continue reading it, and then they're like, and then some people start off like, ah, and then they keep reading it and they're like, hey, I love your shirt. It's like a funny mix of people reading it.
I like that. I like that. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. Well, okay, so what are next steps for you guys? Is it moving slowly, or is it something where you can put it to bed soon?
No, you know what? We're prepared for this to drag out for a very long time. The people
Wow.
suing us have spared no expense. With their resources, they've got upwards of 20 attorneys. They have multiple nonprofits funding the lawsuit. They have one of the largest, if not the largest, law firms in the world. And the judge that we're assigned to is appointed by Obama, and he recently
Oh,
overturned there was a lawsuit. The Department of Justice sued the state of Texas for the heartbeat bill that Texas led the way with, and
right.
the judge that it was assigned to overturned the heartbeat bill abortion ban and made abortions temporarily readily available again until the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals struck it down and it appealed to the Supreme Court, which is where it is now. And we see, everybody expectantly watching that. The judge that
Right.
overturned the heartbeat bill is the judge we're assigned to. So
Oh
we
my
are
gosh.
prepared. Yes, we are prepared to take the same course through the legal system. Um,
Oh,
you know, we have filed for dismissal, and we will file for sanctions for them to reimburse our, legal defense fees. But we have to prove that these are malicious lies, frivolous lies, that they have weaponized the judicial system against average Americans, that this is, a governmental overreach. But our legal defense fees are over $200,000. So for a stay-at-home mom and a plumber to defend free speech against a tyrannical government, it is not cheap.
oh no, that's absolutely. It's so asinine. Clearly you got under their skin, which is awesome. That's what we need to do more of. It's just unfortunate that such a grotesque use of tax dollars is being
Yes.
used. I don't even have words, and I can't believe that that you guys are having to go through this. Like I said, the overspending from this administration is beyond anything we've ever seen. And this is just a prime example of the abuse of power, the abuse of time, finances. Really unfortunate. And I'm really sorry that you're going through this. Like you said, though, your positive spin earlier, it's opened so many doors for you and you're able to get the word out. So that is a positive, and I think you have the right outlook about it, because I guess that's all you can do at this point, right? Is like how can you redirect the
Yes.
momentum?
It's been challenging to remain positive because it is such a big monster that we're up against, and it's kind of like a black
Right,
cloud that follows you around everywhere. But we
right,
are full of faith and hope, and we choose to believe that God chose us rather than them picking on us. So we just feel this is an opportunity for us to stand with other Americans and to defend free speech and to stand up against, the infringement upon our constitutional rights, which are God-given rights. So we'll continue to do that
right.
boldly. So we just have to keep encouraging ourselves, but it's not hard when we have all these great Americans coming up and standing beside us and saying, we support you, we're here for you.
Yes, I think that's fantastic. Yeah, you have a lot of people rallying behind you, and really we need more people to get out and do what you guys are doing. And I say that as I'm sitting in the comfort of my own home, right? I will say, the majority of what I do is from home, but my goal for 2022 is to personally get more boots on ground events where I'm out making a difference out in the community. And I appreciate you for doing that, because it's not for the weak. Anyone can sit behind a computer and be a keyboard soldier, right? But for those who are just disgusted with the overreach and with everything that went down in 2020 and in 2021, and to actually do something about it, I applaud you for that. So
Thank you.
thank
It's
you
kind
for
of
standing up for the rest of us.
Thank you. Those are very kind and encouraging words. It's a little comical because we dipped our toe into the world of politics a couple of weeks before we drove next to the Biden
Oh,
bus.
really?
And so now we are like
You're like,
in it,
yeah, you're
and it's
baptized
been
now.
we are, but we couldn't care more. Every day we find more reasons to care and to care even harder. And we realize that they are using us as an example to scare
Right.
other conservatives and to chill free speech with people who were considering exercising it or exercising it, because it goes against their narrative. And so I would just encourage other people to, like you, put the boots to the ground and to unite together and to continue
Right.
to push forward. I mean, they'll make stuff up about you that isn't even true. So you can't
Right.
let the what ifs scare you out of being, a part of defending our rights and our freedoms.
Right. You're absolutely spot on. I know. They do that with anyone that has a public forum. Like, think about all the actors and actresses, the few that have spoken out against what's happening right now. They're like, they are making a point to harass us to the core, to ruin our careers, or to attempt to deter others from doing it. And it's working. So to your point, we cannot let it. We cannot live in fear. We need to make sure that we do what's right and to continue to move that momentum along. I want to talk to you. I want to pivot to something you mentioned. So this is all about like being openly Christian. And I know recently I had mentioned that my dad's pastor saw his FJB sticker on his truck and said something about like, really, as Christians, we shouldn't be focusing on the FJB movement. We should be focusing on God. And though I see where he's going with that, I had posted a video on it and got a lot of feedback. And then you had mentioned something that you personally have faced, and I would love for you to share that with the audience here.
Yes. So I loved that you had posted that because I think so many Americans are actually dealing with that, especially patriots who love God and love country, but are pissed off at what
Right.
is happening in our nation right now, and I think that it is an important expression. And what's so great about the Let's Go Brandon expression is that Christians can say FJB without having to say it. And it also just continues to remind everybody how the media tries to create a false narrative, right? It's kind of twofold. You're joking about FJB, but you're also like, let's not forget the media lied to us and told us that's not actually what they were saying, right? And so now we make it a giant joke. And we had a family member that asked if we were even still Christians or Christ followers because we posted a Let's Go Brandon meme on Instagram. And, that's so crazy to me. If you really, really genuinely dive into your Bible, you will find that Jesus got himself crucified, not for being politically correct, not for saying what people wanted to hear, but just saying what was on his mind and his heart, sticking to his guns, even if it was difficult to hear. And it wasn't always smooth and polished. There's even a Bible verse where he calls a woman a dog. And so, if we're saying, let's go, Brandon, and it's biblical to stand up against tyranny, no matter how you slice it. And I saw somebody comment on your post that maybe, because your dad had a bumper sticker on his car, right? And the pastor said, well, is
Right.
that, really? And somebody said, well, what if that bumper sticker started a conversation with somebody and he invited them to church? And I just think,
Right.
God can use anybody in any situation. And it's usually the people you least expect. It's not the ones that look religious or act religious. It's the everyday average Americans that people can connect with.
Right. Yes. Amen to everything you just said. So amazing, because I have had so many friends be like, this is especially when there was the anti-police movement. It's still happening, but when it was really at its peak last summer, I had a lot of friends who didn't like my posts, right? Like people I actually know, friends that I actually know. And and they were like, I just want to be the good Christian and just not cause waves and just, show kindness. And I'm like, no, Jesus was the biggest disruptor, known to man. Like, are you kidding me? You have to cause waves. You can't just sit there and just ride the tide, you get nothing accomplished. And quite frankly, I don't respect people that are that way. Not everyone can be a lion, but dang it, we need more of them. So, yeah, I love everything you had to say. Let's see.
Yes.
We have, oh, I forgot, we have live comments here. I'm so engrossed in our conversation. You have to speak truth to power and let them know they are in the wrong. It's true. It's true. I found a meme recently, and it looked almost like an ocean of people. It was like blue. And then it had one that kind of looked like the devil coming out. It was all red. And it said something like, my friends all like just standing in line, and then they think I'm the crazy one, right? Because I'm the one speaking out. And it's so true. And it's like, at this point in time, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
Yes.
being thought of as like the crazy conspiracy theory one. I was never like that before. I thought the government was okay. I was never anti-government. I was never, and now I question everything. And that's, if Trump did something for us, he opened our eyes to the fake news. He opened our eyes to the corruption. I mean, he's done a lot of things for us, but that's something that's really, we can't deny that. We're so much more awake. Myself,
Yeah.
I've always been a conservative, but like I said, I was never anti-government. It's all of these things that I'm really, really focused on right now, and I don't trust anything. I dive into research on every single thing, and nothing is trusted at face value. And so yeah, we need to wake people up, and if they think we're crazy, that's fine, in my opinion. We need to man, woman the F up. I agree. And that just talks to, it's like and it's not easy. Believe me, when I started doing this a year and a half ago, I got called every name in the book. I mean, you can probably see some of my posts. People are still saying nasty stuff, and I kind of just chuckle because it doesn't even rattle my cage. But I'll be honest, when I first started doing this, it was uncomfortable. Now I don't care. But we do need to man, woman up, and then I think that just basically just means don't worry about what people think about you. Stop self-censoring. And
Yes.
that's the worst thing we could do right now is self-censor. And so yeah, I'm preaching to the choir, I know, but for everyone else out there who's afraid to rock the boat, who considers themselves the silent majority, you can't be silent anymore. So it looks like I'm buffering a little bit. So yeah, a little bit. So hey, JoeyLynn, since I'm buffering, why don't you take us for the close here?
Well, if anybody would like to support us, we are so grateful. We cannot do this without the help and support of Americans and God-loving patriots and Americans. We are fundraising on a platform called Give, Send, Go. It's a Christian-based platform. That way that like GoFundMe can't refund our donations to our donors or shut us down. We've had lots of censorship throughout this process and lost social media pages. We've created a website. It is freeforfreedomsake.com. I'm sorry. The Give, Send, Go is actually on the screen right now. That's our fundraising link, givesendgo.com/Masaros, which is our last name. That is where you can go to donate to support our fundraiser. $5, $10, $20, anything. It's these little increments that have gotten us 25% funded to this point, and we're really excited to make it all the way, because if we can fully equip ourselves to fight this fight, then we will not only defend free speech, we will countersue, we will hold them accountable, we will make sure that we push that line back, and then when we get our legal fees reimbursed, we will create a fund where we can help other Americans defending their constitutional rights, because it's very difficult to get these resources together immediately. People can also follow our story at the website we created, which is freeforfreedomsake.com. Free for FOR, freedoms with an S, sake.com. And that's got, it's a landing page, so you can access our fundraiser from there. You can see photos of our family, follow our story, and keep up with legal updates. And I just want to say thank you so much for giving us a platform to share our story and to speak the truth. It's been very hard to find those opportunities. And we're just so blessed to have a chance to visit with you and have a good time with you while we kind of reflect on what's important, but talk about, some fun stuff too. It's a great opportunity, and I'm so thankful for you.
I'm so happy you're on here. You're really amazing, by the way. You're a natural. No, absolutely fantastic. Where is Rob?
He's outside trying to keep.
That's
my husband. He has a handlebar mustache, and Juan loves to bring him on. so that people can see him. And Juan is saying, bring him on. He is outside. He is outside trying to keep our bulldog from barking because she's all over it. He's telling me to go get him. He is telling me to go. I'm going. I'm going, Juan.
All right. That's awesome. Yeah, I saw his pictures. He does have a cool look. Dare I say he looks a little bit like a Portland hipster, but not, liberal like Portland. He has like the cool hipstery but conservative look. But we'll see him live here in just a moment. But sorry if I'm still buffering, guys. Not sure what's going on. It could be the endless amounts of rain here. We have 10 days of it coming up, so wish me luck with that. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you can, check her website out. Oh, here we go. Hey, this is Ron. Yeah, that is a cool mustache. Juan is, I think Juan's fanboying. Juan's a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
Juan, his mustache doesn't have any wax in it right now, so it isn't as perfect as it normally is. But his shirt is.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. I appreciate you coming in. Have you seen, there's a few videos out there, I'll be quick, a few videos out there where people are like, it's their Ring camera recording, and this one woman's like, what does that let's go Brandon mean again? And the husband's like, I'm going to tell you one last time. And he's like telling her, he's like, he's like the whole story, but it's all recorded on the Ring camera. It's hysterical. So people,
no, I'm going to have to find that.
Across the street asks me, what does that mean? So,
that is so, I can't believe there are still people that have not got that. Like, I feel like everybody knows.
Oh yeah, for sure. And my neighbor that texted me the other day, she's like, what does let's go Brandon mean? She's conservative. I'm like, girl, come on. So yeah, I don't know.
Somebody says,
I love it.
There's the stash. The comments are cracking me up. Yeah, you know what? I work so hard to tell our story and to connect with people, and then he just shows up with a mustache, and people are like, oh, tell me more all about you.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. I still remember my customer that had a waxed mustache, and he would go out like 3 inches when I was a bank teller way back in the day. But yeah, and we loved it. It was the talk of the line when he'd come into the bank. It was so funny. But anyways, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, KSOK. Y'all are awesome.
You are too, and yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. You're amazing. Your wife is very impressive. So,
she
like
is.
I said, I don't hand out compliments all the time, kind of that way, but I really mean it. So, really, really, really got a lot going on. So, very impressive, and I appreciate you guys, and thank you for being good Americans. We need more of you. So,
thank you. We're glad to have a new friend.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, and soon to be part of the Ram family, which is very exciting for me. So
yes,
yeah, I'm pumped. Awesome, you guys. Well, for those watching, don't forget to check out My Pillow and use the RAM code RAM for up to 60% discounts. Christmas is right around the corner. Let's get it done and support Mike Lindell at the same time. And thanks again, you guys. You have a wonderful evening, and we will be in touch.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Bye.
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 All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. After me, we have Blue Family Unity and The Loaded Mic. Please stay tuned and support those shows as well. And you guys know how much I appreciate you. You are an extended family of mine. And so I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Have a great night.